In this video, I'm going to show you a terminal-based file manager. Generally, on Arch Linux, what we can do is there's a file manager called Thunar. I mean, there are many file managers of GNU and many other desktop environment. Depending upon many other desktop environments, there are many graphical file managers. For example, let me just install Thunar, which is a graphical file manager. And if I just open it up, so it looks something like this, okay. So what I'm trying to say is we are going to install a file manager called Ranger, which will be a much more faster, maybe a terminal based file manager. So on Arch Linux, you can simply go ahead and do sudo pacman-s ranger, and I think it is also available. Yes, it is also available on Debian based systems as well. So you can just simply do apt sudo apt install ranger. So you will be able to get this terminal based file manager. And before starting that, let me just get rid of that Thunar. Okay, so now if I just type in Ranger, I'll be provided with this kind of interface. Now there are many key bindings that basically depending upon Vim. First of all, this file manager is built using Python, is created using Python, and it works on key bindings of Vim. If you do JK, goes up down, and down and up, and if you do H, we'll go a directory back. So I'm in the root directory. No, I'm in the bit in the home directory, as can be seen here on the top, home/bit. If I do H again, I'll go back again, but you don't have to necessarily use these key bindings. If I do L, I'll go forward, just like in Vim. You can use arrow keys to navigate up and down, back and forward, like this. I'm using arrow keys to move back and forward. Now I have some pictures here, as we can see. Okay, so I'll talk about it later. First of all, if you want to see, for example, hidden files, what you can do is press Z, then maybe H. It gives us many options here. We can see down here. And now if I press H, it will show me all the hidden files. If I do that thing again, it will take away those things. So this is a basic overview. Now we are going to configure it a little bit to look a little bit good. So what we can do here is there's a command. We'll do ranger dash. Before that, let me go to the config directory, the hidden config directory, and here we have a ranger directory already present, a ranger directory. So if I go into that, you can see there's nothing here, but it automatically gets created when we download Ranger. So let me go back home, or wherever you want you can be. Now this command is, I think, copy config. Now there are different files. I'll suggest, if you want to configure Ranger properly, you should do this. Now it will copy these particular files, these configuration files for Ranger, into the .config/ranger directory that it created. So let's go into that directory, and you can see here are some files. So what we are going to first see is rc.conf. Now you can see there are two Python files as well, because this is developed in Python. Let us go into rc.conf. Let's edit that file. So let me open it up, and we can see there are many options that we can set, and we saw that we can't see, I mean, by default the hidden files are hidden. So, and to see it, you have to do ZH and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set by default the hidden files to be shown. So I can search for hidden, for example. And here we can see that set show hidden is set to false. I can set it to true and write and quit. Now if I open Ranger, let's go back, and we can see the hidden files are being shown. And if I want to toggle it, I want to hide those things, I can do just the same ZH to toggle it, but by default the hidden files will be shown like that. So that is one thing. Now we can provide borders to Ranger. One more thing can be done like this. For example, let me search for border in rc.conf. So it is set to none right now, set draw borders, and it is said that we have four options: none, both, outline, separators. And separators are vertical lines, and draw outline draws box around all the columns. So let me show you with, for example, separators. Right and quit. If I do Ranger, you can see a separator was created for different columns. Now in a somewhat similar manner, the outline will work. So I'll set it to both in order to get a nice look to my file manager. So we can see a line on the top is also created here, these lines. So and now it looks good, it looks better. And okay, you can also install pacman dash. I have bat. I don't think okay, it is available in uh, AP, sorry, Debian based systems as well. You can install it like this on Arch Linux. I already have it. So uh, because of that, we are getting this colorful output of files. You can see here we are getting colorful output. For example, yeah, this colorful output of files because of that bad thing. Now, I mean, it can also be used in place of cat, the bad thing, to get a more for properly formatted output. For example, I have this RC, for example, scope.sh. If I do cat scope.sh, I get something like this, right? But what bat does here is it acts a little bit like less. I can go up, I can go down using the arrow keys or JKL, the key bindings. I can do forward slash and search for something if I want. It's much more properly formatted, giving number lines. If I do Q, I'll quit out of here, and nothing is on the terminal like when we do cat. So now, like we were talking about arranger, so you can see we have borders and the hidden files are also visible. Now there's one more thing I would like to show. This is just a minimalistic configuration. You can also set up themes for Ranger, I think, by creating a configurations file. There are by default I think four themes. I'm not going to talk about that. I'll do a preview. For example, let me do that. Just a second. Let me open again the rc.conf, and if I find image preview, so we can see that image preview. So here is an option called set preview images, which is set to false. Now what this does is, let me just set it to true. Sorry, true. Write and quit. And for this to work, you will have to install a simple thing called ueberzug. To do it like this, ueberzug, or you can use some other methods as well, but this is readily available on Arch Linux. So you can do this on Debian based systems. You can use W3M. So sorry, I don't think this is the was that. Maybe I spelled it. Okay, it's BER, I think. Yeah, UEBER. ueberzug. It says I'm reinstalling it because I already had it. Now if I open up Ranger, and for example I go to the place where I had pictures, so we can see a different compartment here, a different you can say column is being created, but nothing is being shown there right now. So for that we'll have to again go to the rc.conf and set a image preview method. Image preview method. So where was I? Okay, so here we have set the image preview true. So there are many methods, namely w3m, item2, terminology, urxvt, kitty, ueberzug, the last one. So by default it's set to w3m, but I'm using ueberzug, so I'll set it to that and write and quit. Now if I open up Ranger and go to that same pictures thing, now we can see a preview is being presented to us like this for different images. This one is 11.1 MB, so it's taking some time. This one is small, like that. So this can be done as well. And okay, let me just tell you some basic things. Like for example, I want to go to home. Now the I work with rc.conf, I think is done. Now let's go to home and let's open up Ranger once again. Okay, before that let's touch a file. Let's create a file, any random file. A random file, it's created. Now let me open up Ranger and I'm going to show you how to just basically select a file. So what in Vim what we do to copy a line is we do yy, right, to yank a file. It's similar here. Here is the random.txt. If I do y, just I pressed it y once, now it gives me other options what I can do. If I press a, some copy mode add will be there, and other options are there. So I will just press y to copy, so the file is copied. Now let us go somewhere. For example, let's go to the videos, and if I do now pp, which stands for paste, I mean sorry, let me remove this. For example, uh, let's do it once again. When I press p, it gives us some options what can be done. So I'll just do p. Capital P is for paste append is equal to true, and other options you can look those up. So okay, nothing was maybe copy. Let me just copy it once again using y. Then let us go back to videos or anywhere, and let me do p. There are options. I'll paste it. So the file got pasted. What if I want to cut it? So for simply cutting a file, let me just cut this thing d. If I do d and then a small d is here for cutting a file, as can be seen. So sorry, if I do a small d and again a d, it will cut that file for me, and it can be visually seen as being a little bit different, but it will replace this file when I paste it with pp. Let us rename this file. I can press I on that, sorry, not I, it was R maybe, no, U maybe, oh, there are, I mean, you can look those up. There are many ways, there are many configurations you can. I forgot what was that too, sorry, what was the thing to rename, not G, not H, just a second. Okay, let us just go go into the videos. I don't remember much about that, so let me just move this random.txt to random one, for example. Let's go back to home and open up Ranger. I'll now cut this random.txt with d and d once again. Go to videos and then paste it, so it got pasted there. Okay, and we can see it is no longer here. Now what if you want to select multiple files? Just select them. So go on that particular file whichever you want to select and press space, so it gets selected. This one also got selected. If you want to unselect it, again press space on that, it will get unselected, like that. So for example, I select these both texts, and if I yank them, okay, let's cut them, go back and paste them here, so they got pasted here, and this video's thing is empty. So now if you want to delete something, you can just do D and then capital D, that is shift D. So it will ask whether you want to delete. On the bottom left we can see a delete thing. You can either do D and shift D, or you can just type in colon delete and then enter, so it will delete it again. If I want to delete this, you can collectively delete them as well by selecting them. So this deleted it, but sometimes, I mean, you want there to be an prompt, whether they want you want there to be a question whether you want to delete or not sometimes, because sometimes you might press the keys by some faultly or something like that. So for that we'll go to the configuration one last time of ranger. It might be in rc.conf. If I search for delete example, okay, so this there it can be seen that if you read there, if I set this to multiple, so it says that if I am deleting multiple files, then it will ask me for whether if I want to delete it or not. So I will set it to always. There are always, never, multiple options. So I can write in quit. You can make your own functions in Python and append into this file, so things like that. For example, let us make a file, for example, again, and let's open up the file manager, and here is a random thing. Now if I go to delete it, and hit enter, it's asking whether I want to delete it or not, and depending upon my selection, I just pressed Y and it deleted it. So that was that, and it permanently deletes it. If you don't want to delete it permanently, there are other options as well. If you want to bookmark some things, there are options as well. So this was basically a ranger file manager, and you can create a binary either to open up ranger. For example, like this, I've created an rfm, it opens up ranger file manager. If I do a quit, it will close that whole thing. Or you can make a key binding to open up a ranger file manager. Yes, and to quit a ranger file manager, you just press Q, just like in Vim. So this was just an overview of a ranger file manager, a terminal based file manager. If you want to use it, you can use that. So with that, I'll end this video. Thank you for watching.